The good folks at Tuffy Security Products have sent me a console security safe for the Jeep Wrangler JL. I'll install it and review it, and I'll share a discount code if you find that you might be interested in buying one. And then I'll also finish off with a few more subscriber tips, so stick around. Hey, welcome to Cheaper Jeeper TV. I'm Dino, your host. Glad to see you here. Now, I have done a couple other videos on security issues and products that you could use to lock away some important items. Maybe it's camera gear, could be a special piece of equipment. Either way, when you drive around in a Jeep Wrangler, you might have the top off, or you might be driving around with a soft top, and you would have legitimate security concerns. How do you lock away those special items? Well, I did do the one video where I showed the locking tailgate box, which also served as a tailgate table. I also did a video where I showed that there's a locking door for the back cargo area, which covers that little storage cubby in the floor. And in this episode, I want to show you the center console safe that Tuffy Products gave us to install and review. Let's have a look at an unboxing.
The console safe is packaged nicely in cardboard and bubble wrap. I chose the console safe with the digital lock because I wanted to carry less keys. I'll show how to set the combination later in the video. The safe features 1/8 inch thick welded steel components and a durable texture powder coated finish. The package of hardware is conveniently attached to the instruction sheet package. The rest of the components are wrapped up in this plastic. Let's spread everything out and have a look. Upon looking at all the components, I was immediately impressed at the quality of the powder coating and the welded steel construction and the 1/8 inch thick steel components. It seemed like a pretty nice unit. Now you'll notice there's two different sets of leg extensions that you see here. The shorter ones are for people who have select track or lock track in their Jeeps because the center console is a little bit shallower in those circumstances. I'm going to take a little time to assemble all the pieces here while I have the unit on the table, and I can explain all the pieces and how they fit together, because when I do it in the Jeep, the camera angles are a little bit tight. The first step of the process is to lower the lid of the console safe into the center console, because at this stage it'll fit in the opening. Step 2 of the process is to feed the side plates for the left and the right side down into the console and then bolt them to the lid. This in essence now makes the console safe lid too large to be pulled out of the opening. You'll require the use of a number 2 Phillips screwdriver and a 3/8 inch end wrench. An important thing to note is that the side plate that's on the driver's side has a square shape to it, and the side plate that's on the passenger side has a tapered angle to it. Step 3 is to insert the appropriately sized left and right leg braces for the safe into the console. And the tops of these braces have a hem that you would slip over the bolt holes and secure the provided bolt and nylock nuts with a number 2 Phillips screwdriver and a 3/8 inch box end wrench. Finally, attach the appropriate hardware for the lid support feature that allows you to keep the lid in place while you're accessing the center console. A 5/32 inch or a 4mm hex wrench and a 7/16 end wrench will be required. So in 4 easy steps, you can have a safe inside the console of your Jeep. Let's take this over to the Jeep and see how we can install it there.
So you can see from the materials, it's not too bad. And what it'll allow you to do is make this section here a little bit more secure for those special items that you want to make sure are safe. So of course you have your cargo storage tray at the top, but underneath that is the more deep and recessed storage cubby. Now, depending on whether you have the select track transmission or not, the depth of this cubby will differ. That's why in the unboxing you saw that there were 2 different sizes of frame pieces for the depth of the storage box. So it'll essentially look like this once it's installed inside the storage cubby. But you can't put it in like that. You have to take these pieces out first.
And as demonstrated before, the first step is to lower the lid of the safe into the console. And step 2 was to take the left and right side plates and bolt them to the edges of the lid of the safe so that it fills the gap. This makes that the lid will no longer be able to come out of the hole of the console. I had to put the phone down because I had to raise the lid of the safe as well as attach the side plate, and here's what it looks like after. So here's a shot with the camera. I now have to put it down and attach the bolt. You could see how with a 3/8 inch end wrench I could hold on to the nylock nut and use a number 2 Phillips screwdriver to secure the bolt and nut. And the passenger side plate is also installed. This now makes it so that the lid of the safe can no longer be removed from the console. And now we move to step 3, where we attach the left and right side braces to raise the lid to its uppermost position. And you can see that these side braces have these flanges that slide over the edge of the safe lid where the holes are for the bolts to be received. This shot shows the footing of the brace as well as the 2 holes that will receive the provided hardware. The brace is secured first by inserting a bolt and then followed up with one of the nylock nuts. And we can complete step 3 by installing the passenger side brace. With the brace installed and aligned over the holes, it's simply a matter of inserting the bolts and then attaching the nylock nuts. And finally, the 4th and final step is to attach the hardware for the lid support feature. For this step, you essentially get the hex head bolt and you have the nylon washer on both sides of the tag coming off the lid, and then the bolt is inserted into the brace inside the safe, and it is all secured with a nylock nut. The idea here is that you tighten it to the desired resistance so that the lid will remain open when you need to access things out of the safe. So there's a quick 4-step process on how you can install this in your Jeep Wrangler JL or Gladiator JT. And as promised earlier, here's how you set the combination on the lock.
So the lock comes from the factory set at 000, and then rotate the dial until you see the reset button through that hole. There it is right there. And you put a paper clip right in there, push up against that button, set the code to the numbers that you would like, and then you remove the paper clip from that button and you have set your code.
And also, it would be good to know that the charging cables can fit through the opening that you can see here provided at the edge of the fill plate.
So it's a little hard to show on camera, but I hope I was able to illustrate to you that it isn't really too difficult once you understand where the pieces go, and it's just a matter of putting a few bolts and nuts together, and what you're left with is a very secure safe in the center console of your Jeep Wrangler JL. You could keep some of your camera equipment in there or any kind of special piece of tools or technology that you want to keep safe. So if you think that you might be interested in something like this, let's have a look in the tip segment where I'll share with you some information about a discount code so you could buy this for yourself and save a little money.
Now for some cheaper Jeeper tips.
So in the description section, I'll have a link to the Tuffy Security Products website where you'll see this product as well as other Tuffy security products for the Jeep Wrangler JL and other vehicles, as a matter of fact. Now the discount code CJTV15 will help you save 15% on your purchase, and I know it'll work for this, but it might work for some other products as well. Feel free to check that out. Now let's move on to our subscriber tip segment.
And now for subscribers tips. This week's subscriber tip comes from our USB-C hack for the media cover panel. Hey Cheaper Jeeper TV, what I do is run a USB-A, USB-C adapter cable straight into the hidden console USB-A connector in the center console. Media door only is used for passengers. Works great. Signed, Malachi Burke. Hey Malachi Burke, thank you so much for the tip. I found something on Amazon that seems to fit your description. I'll put the link to this in the description section for anybody interested. Thank you very much.
And if you have tips that you'd like to share, feel free to put them in the comments section below, as it may make it in a future episode. That's it for this week's episode of Cheaper Jeeper TV. I hope that you found it helpful. And if you did, how about giving this video a thumbs up? And if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button right there and then the alert bell so you'll be notified when the next video is released. Until the next time, I'm Dino for Cheaper Jeeper TV. Be well, stay safe, take care.